In the first part, we have covered deployment section, and we have seen how we can deploy our rich UI applications and how we can test them in the browser once they are deployed on an application server. Then we have seen a few advanced topics like how to make inter-rich UI handler communication possible. We talked about Infobus. Now, we are going to learn about how we can call the existing JavaScript code inside of our rich UI handlers, so that we can harness or get benefits of the existing JavaScript logic. And then we will be talking about some more topics. Then we will finish our class. I will be explaining about you what are the free options through which you can develop your EGL. You can do EGL development through the RBD. RBD is from IBM, and then you have to purchase the IBM license. But there is an open source free version of EGL Community Edition available on the Eclipse site, from where you can download it and you can create your rich UI applications. If you still have any questions, please go ahead regarding the previous topics before I start. Okay, let's start this topic. Okay, let's say we have some custom JavaScript code that is available, and now we want to call it custom JavaScript code inside of our EGL rich UI projects. So how we can call that JavaScript code or the logic that we already have written in JavaScript. So here we would be running about the steps, and we will be seeing the method through which we can call the existing JavaScript. The code that would be present in our JavaScript may be either related to our business logic, or it is possible that there is some code that is going to create some widgets on the page. Okay, now I'm going to see how we can call our existing JavaScript inside of RBD. Here we are creating some external types. Here we have a custom functions.js. This is a JavaScript file through which we are giving the location map. We are specifying that the function's name, this is present inside of the custom JavaScript file, and the class name is custom functions, and this is the same name of this file. And then we are declaring a constructor that is necessary. It will create an object of JavaScript of that class, and then we will be giving the name of the functions, our custom functions that are present inside of our JavaScript. In our case, we are giving a function name is hello, providing one parameter, and then we are returning some value. Okay, in this way we are we are mapping some things. We are giving some names. Same way, if there is some JavaScript logic already there that is going to create some widgets or UI object on the page, same way we can create a JavaScript mapping file where we would be specifying some properties. First, we will be giving a location property where this file is located inside of the custom JavaScript folder, and then .widgets file, and the class name through which the objects of this file will be initiated. This class name and the file name must be same. The custom widgets.js, and here we have class name custom widgets without extension. And then we are specifying the super class. Here, in case we are trying to access or we are trying to extend the capabilities of widget class, it is already present inside of the rich UI. So we have mentioned EGL.UI.RUI, comma, in the single quotes we have specified widget. So widget class is our super class, and it's going to be extended by our custom widgets class. Then we are going to create a div variable. It will take a place on the page, and within the div our widget will be displayed. Then we are initializing DOM element. Through this line, initialize DOM element, it will create an object on the basis of this custom widgets class, and then creating constructor function where it will initialize some logic, or it will make this widget object present on the page. Then we are creating our show button function, through which we are going to create a button and then displaying on the page. In the first line, we have created a variable button and then equal document.createElement button. And on the next line, we are creating button text document.createTextNote. We have supplied a value is ready, and then in the button we are appending this text. And then once we have created our custom HTML widget, we are appending this custom widget into our DOM element of EGL rich UI. So using this easy $$ DOM element, this variable name, this library name, we are calling its .append function, and then supplying the custom widget name. In this way, we are appending a widget onto inside of the EGL rich UI runtime or library, and then we are free to call this widget with its custom widget name and then calling its function. So in this way we can create our custom widgets. Once we have created our JavaScript code in a certain format, for example, we have a code and now we have formatted, we had tweaked it so that the EGL environment can understand it. Now we are moving to the mapping part, to a part or to a EGL file where we would be specifying this JavaScript path in the function names and the parameters and the return types. In the first one, we have created external type custom functions that it extends widget library or widget class. Its type is JavaScript object. And within the curly braces, we have some other properties like relative path. The path where this function exists, and then JavaScript name, the name that we have given to the class. And this would be the same name of the JavaScript file. If you see on the previous slide here, we have custom functions.js. Same class name is similar, custom functions. So here in the mapping place, inside of external type, here using JavaScript name, we have provided the same name. And then once we have done the mapping of the path and class name, then we are listing the functions that are available inside of that class. In our case, we have hello function taking one parameter and returning a string value. Let's see back on the previous JavaScript file. If you see here, we have hello function taking one parameter and returning a string value. Same way, on this mapping place, we have one function taking one parameter from a string. So in the same way, we are doing the same mapping with widget class, our custom widget. We have specified the path and name of the file that holds our JavaScript code, in the JavaScript name where we have specified the class name. And then we have a function show button. This is a function that is already declared in our custom widget JavaScript file. If you see here, we have declared a function custom show button. This is our custom function. Now in the mapping, we have mapped this file. Okay. So relative path, the location of your JavaScript that is present inside of your web content folder. The JavaScript name, this is the name of your JavaScript file. And even we can include some other files like CSS file or HTML file that are being used inside of our JavaScript file. For example, inside of our JavaScript file, we are using some other CSS properties or some other values or HTML tags. Then we can include those files using the include file attribute. By the way, we have a notes available below this slide. Let me show you here. Here we have description on this include file attribute. So this include file, what type of the files that we can include and how they are available at the runtime. Here we have given few examples. Similarly, at the mapping slide, we have same code given here, the previous slide. So in this way, we can copy and paste this code in our environment. So once this is done, then we are moving towards calling this widget or this custom JavaScript code. Now we have created a custom external types demo, a rich UI handler, and then inside of this we have created variables based on our custom mapping, based on our custom JavaScript widget or custom JavaScript code. You see here we have my widget. That's lucky, man. I have to mute. So inside of our rich UI handler, we have created two widgets. My widgets is referring to a custom widget. And then we have a my variable it's referring to custom functions file. So both are these class files, and we are creating their objects or their variables. And then once we are done with the name, again if you see here in the pop event, we are accessing my variable dot hello. We are supplying some value, and then it will return something, and we are storing inside of text label in the dot text property. So it will be displayed on the label on the rich UI handler. Same way for my widget dot show button. So it will create, because in our code we have created a button. So by calling this show button function, it will create a button for us. If you see here, we have created ready button, and we have pressed this 3 times, so it created 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Created again and again and again, because you call again and again this function. So in this way you can call your custom JavaScript, or you can create your custom widgets, either buttons, either divs, either HTML tables, or whatever it is. Okay. Now we have some other properties here. We are going to know about them. Like for example, let's say we have a variable on our inside of our JavaScript, and we want to call it inside of our EGL code. Then using 8% sign JavaScript property. So this reserved, we can access that property, and we can use that JavaScript variable inside of our code. Same way, if there is a variable we want to like either get or set those values. The same way we have get method or set method functions available that we have to enclose in the quotation after this within this property. So in this way we can either access, for example, we have a car variable, so we can say set car method or set car or get car. So in this way we can specify get or set methods with the same name of the variable. So in this way we can store or get values from that variable. The variable that is present in our JavaScript, and we want to call it, we want to use it in our EGL code. We have another topic here. We have a type defined here. For example, let's say we are calling a JavaScript, external JavaScript. So there is JavaScript object exception. This shows, like for example, you are calling your custom JavaScript, and there is something wrong happened inside of your JavaScript code. Then inside of your rich UI handler, the try on exception block will trigger you the corresponding JavaScript object exception error. Here we have an example, simple example given here. If we open the Dojo samples, if you see here, we have utils.map. Then inside of the utils, we have custom JavaScript mapped here, and then in the utils we have mapped this one, and then we are calling Google Map here. Let me quickly show you this thing that we can have a clear idea here. Okay, if you see here inside of first we are trying to see the inside of web content folder. We have a utils folder, and inside we have a map folder. Here we have JavaScript file where we have mapped all the parameters. If you see here, we have a global variable inside of JavaScript. We have defined, okay, we are going to create a widget, a custom widget. A widget that is going to show Google Map. we are given this widget name, and then it's extending the widget library. And first in the constructor, we are initializing this instance. We have specified it with height of the image, and then we are calling this function, and then we are saying, okay, if the JavaScript loaded a map function is available, then create the map, otherwise map this empty area and the widget. And then we have this try method, we have create map function, creating a widget, and then we identify, okay, map widget has been loaded or JavaScript loaded, then create an object supplying this latitude and longitude, and then some other values, same way calling google.maps.geocoder direction services, and in this way we are doing our logic and we are setting some values, and then we have set width function, set height function, get center, set center position. So in this way we have a mark to be displayed on the map. So in this way we have mapped our JavaScript. The JavaScript code is already there, but we have just tweaked it so that it can be understood by the environment, RBD environment. We have extra HTML files. Let me see here, we have this code. In the HTML code, it's basically registering. It's using API call, Google API key, and then loading the script. We are creating widget placeholder. We have custom CSS files here for Google Map. Okay. Now once we have done this, now we are going back to EGL code here inside utils.map. This is the mapping area. We have created external type Google Map name. This is Google Map is the name of our class and the file name. So this would be our widget name, widget object, and it's extending widget, and its type is JavaScript object. And then here we have a relative path. Its definition is present inside of utils and map, inside of under web content and utils and then map. So it has definition here, and the JavaScript name is Google Map. So this JavaScript name is Google Map. Include file. Inside of our we are here including our custom HTML file. Okay. Then using widget reserved word, we are creating a widget, and we have specified some values, large icon, small icon. You can get definition of this widget in the RBD help. Okay, then we are calling some properties here like center property or center position. These are the same present inside of our JavaScript, and then same way we are calling their corresponding functions, data present inside of that code. Show address, router, marker, remove marker, show current location, etc. And here we have also created record. Now then we have Google Map lib file created. Here we are creating few constant variables. Then we have sample application here. Inside of this code, okay, here we have created a Google Map object. Okay, two objects, and specified some constant values here, and then here it is. Okay, here we are giving some property. Okay, here we are creating a marker on the Google Map, giving some direction and address details. Then we are, if you see here, show route button with date object, map object, we are calling its corresponding show route function, and then supplying the address and city or state words, and then we can remove the markers. We are calling show current location, and so in this way we are calling the function. So here we have this example. Once this is done, in the preview you can see we have an example given here, calling a Google map here. If you click here add marker, it will add this marker. If center, is showing the location here. Okay. Now I'm coming back to my remaining topic, browser history. Any question regarding external JavaScript? Please go ahead. Okay, let's say you want to track your browser history. For example, what was your first file, and then in the second file or in the third file. Is the browser normally stored the location or the history of the file or the URL that we have just traveled. So if we have multiple rich UI handlers and we want to see, okay, which was our first URL, first rich UI page, and then where user went, and then where he transferred to the third page, what was the fourth page. In this way we can track their page, and we can go next or previous. So here we have a custom object available inside of EGL environment. Here we have a history object available. Inside of our handler we will be creating a history object by giving any name. Like in our case, in this code, we have created history in a small letters. This is the name of the variable, and then history is starting with H caps. Then on construction function, you can set up the event handler that will execute in response to specific events. For example, you would be giving some history listeners. For example, if history is increasing or decreasing, our user is switching to or jumping to next page or coming to previous page, then the corresponding history listener function will be executed. The same way you can add some values like 1, 2, or 3, just to let the history object know that you have traversed 1 page, 2 page, or 3 page. Same way we have some another objects, some other functions, like we can go back. We can use go back function, through which we can go to the previous page. We can use go forward function, through which we can go to the already visited next page. Same way, if a user is going to close the browser window or closing the tab of the browser, then we can use a keep user on page function, and then we can specify a function that will be executed whenever a user is closing the browser or closing the tab. In this way we can traverse backward or forward through the history object. We can see, okay, a user was at this page initially, and then he visited or traveled 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, and now he wants to go back or move forward. So using these functions we can do the similar activities. Now inside of our EGL gallery, the simple rich UI examples, we have similar history object implemented. Same way we have info bus been implemented here. We can see this code, we can check this code, and we can use these. We can get an idea how they are used, and we can create some example based on these code samples. Let me quickly show you how you can see this code. First of all, let me show you how you can import the sample HUI project, or how you can import the sample Dojo samples inside of your environment. Inside of Help menu, click this Welcome screen. Now on the Welcome screen, we will be seeing some examples, some samples. Here, if you see at the top, we have different icons. One is tutorial, another is samples, and some others. Okay. On the second icon, click here. Now, if you see EGL Rich UI Dojo widgets, same EGL Rich UI technical samples. If you click any one of these, it will open the RBD help, and it will take you to the place where this code sample is present. Then by clicking the link, then it will automatically import that sample inside of your RBD, inside of your workspace. In this way, you can import the Dojo code, or you can import the Rich UI samples code. If you see, has opened this EGL Dojo widgets. Now, if you click on this Get the sample, it will, by clicking on this link, it will automatically import the sample code inside of your environment, inside of your workspace. Same way, here we have some other examples given here. EGL Rich UI technical samples. In this way, you can import the technical samples, Rich UI widgets example, get the sample. Same way, you can import EGL shopping cart example. You can import J2EE security with EGL LDAP access. EGL Rich UI access to LDAP, EGL access to LDAP. So these are the example samples which you can import inside of your environment. Same way, there is an example given here for EGL text user interface. So in this way, it will import a text user interface based application that it creates like base sort of applications, or text UI applications, or green screen looking applications. So in this way, you can import the code inside of your environment. Okay. Once this is done, then you can explore the code. You can see how it is written and how they are managed, or anything else. Okay, now I'm going inside of EGL Rich UI samples. Inside of gallery content, if you select this file, right click here, then we have open and open with options. By default, this Rich UI handler is selected with EGL Rich UI editor. The editor with drag and drop feature editor that will appear, and it will be having a palette on the right side so that we can graphically design the page. But we have non-EGL editor. If you click here, there will not be any samples, source, view, or design tabs at the bottom. So there are different, you can open your EGL code in text editor or system editor or some other editors. You can configure other editors by clicking others. Okay, I'm just clicking here, inside code. Okay, if you see here, we have history object given initialized inside of our content folder, and then in the start function that will be executed when this rich UI handler is going to be loaded in the memory of the browser. When this rich UI handler is first initialized, this start will be executed at the first time. Here first is using it's subscribing for an event. This is the long event name, and then this function will be called whenever this event has been published. So here, same way here, adding some history listener to the history object and adding value 1 means it has visited page 1. Same if you see add history, here adding some data into add to history object. If you see, this is our history listener, this is our history listener. Here it's doing some different operations. Okay. So in this way you can have some experience or some knowledge or somehow on this code, how history object or some info object or code is organized, and how we can create some advanced functions. Okay, now coming back to our remaining topics, we have very important topics remaining. Best practices. Let me quickly finish this. This is a single slide. As you know, the rich UI handler applications are the collections of rich UI handlers or rich UI widgets. Widgets can be custom-made widgets, or maybe IBM supplied widgets, or third party like Dojo widgets, or maybe Silverlight widgets, or we can are the widgets that we have created through custom JavaScript. Always try to put your multiple widgets together inside of a container. Container can be like a div, box, grid layout, accordion pane, or tab pane. Same way, rich UI handlers and rich UI widgets may be visible or may be non-visible. Non-visible, that relates to the functionality, business functionality inside of our code that is useful for creating some business logic. So initial UI would be putting a visual element that will be displayed at the first time rich UI handlers are loaded in the memory in the browser. Okay. So this was about some different topics, and we have seen some advanced topics here. I have another topic here. Then we will finish our class. It's about model view controller, how we can achieve model view controller concept inside of EGL, how we can create rich UI application, we can create rich UI application based on model view controller. Model view controller is what we call it. It's a framework. It's not coming in my mind. Okay. So it's a design pattern. Okay. So how we can create rich UI application that are based on the model view controller design pattern, MVC pattern. Okay. Model represent the part that is dealing with the data, the business logic, and the view represent the part that is only showing the visual interface on the page. The controller is responsible to process events and to process the control from one view to another view, and to process control from model to view and view to model. In Java, views are normally created using JSP files. In models, for models, there are Java beans are being used, or POJO objects are being used, and for controller, there is a specific controller based on the design pattern. Maybe in JSF, there are JSF controllers, or in Apache Struts, or in Spring framework, there are different controllers. So here we are going for to know how we can implement a model view controller concept in our EGL rich UI. So it will be not fully model view controller. It will not like divide your controller or models or view on different sides, but it will try to separate model part and view part so that we can know, okay, this widget is going to show only the view. This widget is only responsible for view part, and this object is going to be only dealing with the model part, and it will store the value and it will show the value. Here we, for example, for model, we can say that, for example, we can have some EGL variables or records or data items that can be considered as the model because they are storing some values, they are holding some values. So our EGL variables, records or data items, they can be considered as model, and the view can be considered as like text field, buttons, checkboxes, grids, pie charts. They can be considered as the view, and the model which is supplying data to this view, these will be our variables, and the controller will be the transaction or the bridge between both of them. Now here we are going to create a project where we will try to implement this concept. We are creating a new package, then a library. Within that package, we will be creating a rich UI property, file name, and then inside of web content folder, we will be creating a properties folder, and then we will create a validation messages en_us.properties file. Inside of this properties file, we will be giving some text values. If you want to put some non-English characters or language here, you can put inside of this properties file, and you can see the result. You can see what is the difference. Once you have created these properties in the same way you created for English language, same way you can create for other languages. See how the widget, their look and feel change, and how the widget text is changed. Now, once we have done this, we are creating an employee under MVC package. We are creating a employee info rich UI handler. Inside of rich UI handler, we are creating a basic record type. And then we are saying that first name. We are inside of this employee record. We are creating some fields or some variables. Like first name, its type is a string. In the curly braces, we are specifying, or we are giving some properties like input required. Okay, this is the required field, and then we input required message key. Then we are binding with the message key. This must be the same name that we have declared inside of validation messages library. Once they are done, in this way you have created your first name, last name, age, salary, and then validation properties library. where you have to provide these validation messages library name so that it can concern for the relevant method messages to be displayed on the screen inside of this library. And then once you are done with this, you can create some objects based on the employee record. Here we are creating some fields with the similar names, and then we are creating an employee record variable. Here we created employee record, basic record. Then we created a few fields. Then we are creating employee record. Now we will try to code the controller. Now we have created a record that will behave as the model for our page. Then we have created a few fields like first name field, its type is text field. We have created another field like last name field, its type is text field, and same with other fields. So these fields represent our view. In the record, this represents the model. Employee record will hold the data, the value, and then now we have created our view and model. Now let's go to create a controller. You have to use a controller keyword name. First we have created a variable name. Its name is a name controller, and then its type is controller, and within the curly braces we have specified few properties. We have some annotation property given here. This annotation property is starting with $, and then MVC in caps, and then within the curly braces we have specified which will be the model and which will be the view on which this controller will react. So here we have said, okay, the first name from the employee, it will be considered as a model. In the first name field, this should be considered as the view. Now this controller has tagged both view and model. So in this way you have to create controllers for all these fields. You have to specify the corresponding model and corresponding view. So once this is done, the inside of the controller you can specify some validator functions. We have already learned about the validators. These are the delegate methods or the functions that are automatically been called by the EGL runtime to check against the values or the fields on which we have applied these validators. So when we are going to submit this model, then controller will automatically call those corresponding validators, and then displaying the corresponding message on the screen. Here it's returning a message. Now we are creating a form field. Inside of the form field, it's a variable through which it's a special type of object in EGL through which we will be creating a form that will be submitted, that will be used for submission. Inside of this form we are specifying some form fields, and then we are giving a display name that will be displayed beside each field, and then we are specifying a controller and then we are giving the corresponding controller name that we previously created in the previous slides, in the immediate previous slides. So once this is done, then you have to provide the employee form field name in the initial UI. And then here we have specified a property inside of handler use internal validator. So it will use some internal default validators that will be executed on that will be executed by the controller. That will examine, okay, you have the correct model, you have bind with the view, and a view has supplied some data, and now it's going to be saved in the model, and controller is bind with both them. So these internal validator validates these things for you in the background. Same way, we created an employee form. Its type is validating form, and we have provided a few properties here, like its width will be 530. So this form will be displayed on the screen with this width 530 pixels. And the entries, what are the entries that will appear on this validating form? In the entries field, we will be providing our form field. So this is the form that will be validated using this validating form. So this validating form will validate our form field, and form field holds our controller, and controllers have information of both model and view. Okay, in this way we have constructed this. This is a bit difficult to understand, but I will show you a simpler one after these slides. But this is a manual way through which you can manually create MVC based design. Later I will show you how you can create all of this thing without going through manual procedure. So once you have done this, here we are giving a submit button, and on submit event, here we have on submit event it's first calling inside of the if statement is valid function. Employee form that is valid, it will call the corresponding validator functions, and it will validate the logic. For example, we have created we have models that are declared in the employee record, and they have some properties like first name must be provided, and first name length should be this. So validator will take those conditions. Once if valid is okay, is true, means all validation are clear or passed, then it will execute the employee form.commit. It will submit. This commit will submit the form. Now then you can do the rest of work. Once you have submitted your form, you can do. Now here we are trying to show you how you can graphically create everything graphically without going through manual work. Here we are creating a rich UI handler. Inside of rich UI handler, we are creating a basic record. We are creating some variables like customer ID is integer, first name is string, last name is string, and some other properties. Once we are done this, go in the design view, select the EGL data view on the left side. Here you can see inside of your rich UI handler, there is our customer record available. Now select and drop it on the page. Then a pop-up will appear here. It's saying, okay, which type of the widgets that will be created by default automatically for you. Either read-only fields or editable fields. Read-only fields where are the fields in which you cannot input something. And the editable fields are those fields in which you can input something. In this way, it will create this form. And you can have submit button, and then you can write your code. So here is going to you the same way you can do the validation here. Now I'm going to show you this was complex if we are following the manual procedure, but if we are following the automatic procedure, then it will not be complex. I'm going to create a rich UI handler. My MVC demo. Go inside your handler code. Create record, employee, any name, basic record, and here. Remember, do not put your employee record inside of your handler definition. Always do not put your employee record inside of your services or library file. You have to put record after the definition of handlers, services, and libraries. In this way, we have created a simple record here. Now I'm creating imp that is based on my employee record. Okay. So this is all about what we have done here. Now I'm going to create a model based on this thing. Now go back here in the design view. Select your EGL data view. You can find this record. Drag and drop it on the page. And here a wizard will appear. It's saying like, okay, either you want to create all read-only fields or all editable fields. And for example, against the first name, you like to have a EGL dojo text field. Okay, let me quickly create some other variables so that we can see some different values. Okay, for example, text is maybe 2 million. Okay, 8. Okay, I've just changed few properties so that we can see different objects, not only text fields. Come back here. Again, select the employee, drop it here at any location. Now, which fields you want to like for read only? These are it will be read only. It will not accept input. In the input, which field you want to they will accept input or combination of read only or editable. Now either you can keep them as a read only or or editable fields. Now it's up to you. I'm creating editable one, and here inside of label I can change the label that will be shown beside these fields, like first name, last name. Here I can change this widget type. Here if you see here, I can make it combo, I can make it password text field, I can make dojo combo and some other fields. Okay, now against the text, it's creating a checkbox because it's text has a boolean type, that's why it's creating checkbox. Date of birth has date type, that's why it's creating a date text field. And for a string, it's creating text field. Okay, give it this label employee. Okay, if you see, it has created this form. Save the file. Let's first preview this so that we can see the result. We have first name, last name. We can have this checkbox, and same way for date, we can have this widget. So this is very beautiful, and this is a quick way to create the form. We only created a few properties and we dropped on the page, and it created the corresponding widget. That's it. But now come back to the code. If you see, it has generated a bit lot of code here, but this is based on MVC. It has created like this is label, employee first label, and it has created this view, and then if you see, it has created this controller. This is controller, and inside of the controller it has specified, okay, this would be the model, and this is the model. First name is model from employee, and this would be the view as the widget. This will be the view, and then it has validators. This will be called on the validation of this field. For example, if I specify a few properties here in my employee record, then those validations will be performed. But by default, it has created some validations, and in the same way, it has created form and model for all of these fields, these variables. And then it has created form manager through which it's submitting all fields, entries, and now it has created some custom functions like submit function, we are validating and then committing, and then publish function to publish the form, means, and then validate the form, and then validate form function to make sure, okay, all values are validated, are in the correct form, and all required values has been entered, and they have the correct range of characters, and so on. Same way, handle validate state change. If validation state is been changed, then how it check the entries and the values within those views or the variables. So in this is the quick way to create your MVC based applications. So this was all about MVC. Now I think there are few other slides like appendix and best practices. Here are in the best practices you can find few best practices tips through which you can optimize your application, or you can better code your project. Before I think this is all about our class, and we are done with the class. Before we go in anything else, let me show you. We have this course was based on the RBD, Rational Business Developer. Besides, if you have any questions regarding this topic, please go ahead. regarding MVC model view controller. Now this course was based on the RBD National Business Developer, and there is a free version available that is based on the Eclipse, and it's hosted on the Eclipse site. It's known as EDT, EGL Development Tool. I'm just loading this tool. In this tool, using this tool, you can still create rich UI applications, and this is completely open source. This is freely available. Same way you can create your projects. Let me just finish this. Still building the workspace. Just wait for a few seconds. Okay, same way, new project. Now here you can create, either you want to create a mobile web client applications, with services, web 2.0 client applications, or some other same way, basic application or hello world example. Select here. Demo. Now, which version you want to use? Dojo, mobile Dojo widgets and standard widgets. Next, finish. Now inside of my code it has, I'm just closing unrelated projects. Create a new handler. Which UI do you want to create? Which UI handler or widget? Mobile demo. Next. This is a simple code showing the preview. Allowing access, asking for access. System is, because in the background it's running a JT server to design the page. Same way we have mobile widgets, if you see here on the right side. In this way I can have a view here. To separately place the view here, not inside of grid handler. So in this way you can create your apps. Cool. I have not updated my this version, so maybe in this way there are some anyway you can create your rich application. Same way you can have this UI, buttons, details, even menus. So this is the view. Okay. So in this way you can use this one. For mobile, I hope I have to update on the latest version, or maybe Anyway, this is the free version. You can get help from the ECAP site. There is a community present there that can help you on these questions, and they help to grow this free version. In the help, you can find the help, and maybe there would be some symbols through which you can create this mobile or free rich UI applications. There are two important resources on IBM site. One is EGL Cafe. On the EGL Cafe, you can find help or the updates and everything regarding EGL. We have here a blog section, discussion forum, wiki, products download, learning education. On the learning education, let me click here. On the gallery, there are samples. On the discussion forum, there is a forum through which you can place your question, and there are people available, or the community, they will answer your question and they will help you in your solving your issues. I encourage you to go on this forum and visit this EGL Cafe site. There is, in the learning part here, you can find the same this registration link, and on the right side there are different examples. Even here the code is present here. You can download different code slides from this site. Here you can have PowerPoints. You can have some example on the kicks, SOA learning, IMAS, how to create JSF EGL applications, how to create text UI applications. So in the corresponding section, you can have different PowerPoint slides or some code present as well. So there's, in the gallery, we have some examples that are built using EGL, like mortgage, enhanced mortgage application, Dojo widgets library overview, and the overview of Dojo mobile app. In this way, you can create mobile applications or the mobile looking apps using EGL. Yeah, some things. And this is the forum, EGL forum. Here you can post new thread here, and you can ask any question, and the people present on the forum, they will help you, they will reply you, they will tell you, okay, you have this problem, you have done this mistake, and this way you can solve your problem. For example, here Dojo checkbox, or are you a mobile? Someone is asking for the are you a mobile question, and someone is asking for a rational developer for Z Enterprise 8.5 version. Some asking for Siva memory leak, simulating a slow connection, in cache issue in RUI apps, adding user security. So in this way, here they have different replies. So this is EGL Cafe, and EGL forum is really important for you, through which you can get a lot of knowledge. You can you will be updated on what's going on in the EGL world and what new things are coming in the EGL. Okay, so this was all about our sessions. We are done with our sessions. We covered different topics. We started by knowing on the EGL, what is EGL, and then we seen a RBD environment. We created different projects. We went in the detail of rich UI widgets, Dojo widgets, and then we had some demos on different widgets, and then we covered web services part. We created and consumed web services, and the same way we create we had demo on database call, and lastly we talked about calling custom JavaScript files, creating CSV text files, comma separated files or flat files, and we also talked about some advanced features like inter-rich UI, enter communication, how to create custom widgets, how to access browser history, and we also talked about different event handling mechanism, And lastly, we talked about the MVC pattern, how we can implement MVC pattern. Any questions so far regarding any topic that we have covered during our EGL classes? Please go ahead before I finish my class. So today was our last day of our sessions. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I will send you a reminder email where I would be I will try to send you some resources or information from where you can download material, you can get support on EGL. Okay, I will try to send you a form through which I will like to have your feedback on the training, that how much you like this training, what is good about the training, and what are the points that we have to cover and we have to see, and what are the areas that I have to improve, and what are those points that you want to have more demos on, and any new topic that you would like to receive in future. Okay, thank you very much for your time, for being us throughout these sessions in all these 5 days. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.